The Dalish prisoners escaped safely?
We got them away free and clear.
Good. Whatever my frustrations with them, it feels good to have helped my people again. Thank you for allowing me to help. Chance to infuriate Elganon was a reminder of simpler times.
You and Elganon were really tearing into one another back there.
I needed to goad him to anger in order to distract him. But yes, while all of the Evanuris were monsters in their own ways, Elganon was the worst. Or perhaps it is more honest to say that his were the faults I found most objectionable. You have met him now, heard his voice hammering at the doors of your mind, and you have met me. Can you see how he and I might frustrate one another?
The way the two of you argued, it didn't feel like enemies. It felt like family.
How so?
Family knows you better than anyone, and that can be good or bad.
I had not thought of it that way. But yes, we had centuries to stoke the fires of our hatred. I saw his rise to tyranny coming, and could not stop it. And he saw me disrupt his plans for dominion time and time again.
Alright, I can see how you and Elganon would hate each other.
He has always been what I most feared becoming. Callous and uncaring, his arrogance unchecked. To have that much power and no one to remind him that he could be wrong.
Well, he had you.
And I suppose I had you.
You said you found the Dalish frustrating. Why is that?
It is unfair to them. I lived for thousands of years, and after I imprisoned the Evanuris, I slept for thousands more. I awoke in a world that had forgotten the ancient times almost entirely. And those who tried to remember Elven history, like the Dalish, had gotten so much wrong.
I suspect them calling Elganon and Gillenane and all the rest gods didn't go over well with you.
Indeed. To see that the history the Dalish worked so hard to preserve was the propaganda of tyrants was vexing. I tried to explain the truth to one clan. When I convinced them that I was truly Fen'Harel, they attacked me. After that, I hid my explanations behind the facade of having witnessed events in the Fade.
And the Fade is the realm of dreams. Hard to present that as evidence.
Yes. The Dalish had no reason to believe me. I could only watch as they continued to worship Elganon, though we may have seen the last of that tradition, at least.
Last time I got his attention, he got angry enough to come after us with the Blighted Dragons. Hopefully this baits him into a mistake we can use against him.
Every act of resistance is a thorn in his side. He will break soon. When we first met, I saw you only as a foolishly confident child who disrupted my plans. You were an irritant. I gave you information to oppose Elganon out of necessity, but I expected you to be nothing more than a tool. Seeing you with your team, I was wrong.
I appreciate you saying that. Couldn't have been easy.
The only thing worse than being wrong is realizing it, but being afraid to change. Elganon's pride is no greater than mine, but he denies any failure on his part, and I at least try to acknowledge my mistakes. Your team trusts you, and you listen to them. It is impressive and enviable. You work together with a camaraderie it took me centuries to build in my rebellion.
So what do we do next?
Elganon and Gillenane are preparing the dagger they will use for their ritual to pierce the veil. Elganon's power is tied to light and darkness. He will need to perform a ritual during the next eclipse.
That gives us some time to prepare.
It is likely to be your last chance to do so. You must be ready for whatever comes, for this world and for the team that trusts you. I know that you will do everything in your power not to fail them.
So now Elganon's recovered his own archdemon. And the gods only need an eclipse to complete their dagger.
We saved the Dalish, though. That's important.
But now Elgernon's immortal, so long as his archdemon lives.
And we all know how hard those things are to kill.
We killed Razikale, didn't we?
After losing hundreds of wardens. And it took a centuries-old trap to do it. We don't have either of those. Not anymore.
Just when you think the tide's in your favor, it turns right back.
Okay, we always knew this was gonna be hard, right? And yeah, maybe it's a little harder now. More than a little. But either we stop this, or all of Thedas falls. So we see it through, all the way. Because no one else is going to.
Nice speech, Rook. But it's hard to complete a contract if you don't know where the target is.
We found the gods before,
Not without help, we didn't.
so we get help again. We've got allies everywhere now.
What about the Venatori that were at the crater? They might know where the gods are hiding.
Dorian said they were up to something, but it seemed more about returning to the gods' good graces. They lost Elganon's sacrifice. He'll be displeased.
The crows may have something. The Antam are moving large quantities of supplies out of the city. Weapons, armor, gatlock. And several storehouses worth of food, what little we had left. It's enough to feed the Antam Navy for 3 months. Or all of Treviso for 6 weeks.
Given the timing, it seems unlikely to be a coincidence.
Wherever those supplies are headed, that's likely where we'll find the gods. Any more details from the crows, Lucanus?
They said the Antam have long work ahead. We have time. Also, Biago would like a meeting. At your earliest convenience. From him, that means important, but not yet urgent.
Did Biago tell you how much time we have?
Days to weeks. Nothing more precise.
Well, that's our best lead so far. Track those supplies, and we should find the gods. That said, the Venatori aren't up to anything good in Minrathis.
Not to complicate things, but the Inquisitor also wants to meet Rook.
Right. With everything she's been doing in the south, we owe her an update.
I'll let her know.
Today could have gone better, but it could have gone much worse. We fought off the Venatori and rescued the Dalish. That's a win by any standard. Rest up and be ready to go. Next time the gods appear, let's make sure it's the last.
Thanks for the tip-off.
You spend far too much time here, Dorian.
This is where all my favorite people are. Besides, I have news, and every messenger bird I've met is dreadful at nuance.
The damn Venatori up to no good again?
What else? The cult lost people in Alathan, and leadership has fallen to Knight Commander Lenos. he aims to bring the city to its knees.
But Minrathous is already falling apart.
I know. While the Varantis' attack on the city could have been much worse, the people's fear in the aftermath is palpable.
And the rumors about the Archon are true. He's dead. Assassinated during the Dragon's rampage. The palace has tried to keep the news from spreading until a new Archon steps up.
And no one has?
No one dares. Not with the Venatori circling like vultures. The risen gods are preparing for something big. And for that, they need fear. Chaos.
More fear? More chaos? Haven't the Venatori done enough?
Restraint is not exactly their strong point, Rook. Lenos is the key to all of it. First, we stop what he's planning for Minrathous.
And then we find out what the gods are preparing for.
Let's hope it stays that simple. One of Lenos' Venatori associates is often at the Cobbled Swan. Let's see what we can get from him.
We? Dorian, you can't be going yourself.
It's the Swan. Everyone goes to the Swan.
I'll head out right now.
All the contracts I did in the winter, and I never did find out who paid for them.
You think it might have been the Shadow Dragons?
If someone else wanted the Venatori dead enough to hire me, I bet they'd know about it.
We probably shouldn't keep Dorian waiting too long. There's Dorian.
There's Lenos' associate. According to the shadows watching him, he's nervous and doesn't talk much, but does odd jobs for coin. Interesting, yes? I'll draw him off, you check his belongings, see if you can discover any clues about Lenos' plan.
Mostly gone, warm, half-eaten steak. A bedroll? It's definitely seen better days. And it's damp. Sleepy. This all sounds like trouble.
What are you poking about
Dorian
there
will want
for?
to know.
The others are bartenders, but I'm the mixologist. I don't serve drinks. I build libations. Let me know if you want anything. Very good.
Lenos intends to destroy the city with Blight and Darkspawn.
Carthus. Nothing like an attack to cause chaos in a city. You should head there immediately.
All right, let's go.
Good to go. Yeah.
Your heresy.
Be who got us. As you say. Keep it coming, bro.
Clear.
Way to fight, Brooke.
Trouble ahead.
Sean, on that. I'm ready, That's been sorted.
Something tore through these gates. Something big. Watch out! I bet this darkspawn was what tore through the gates.
Ready again. Keep that up, Brooke.
More blight in the way.
There's always more blight.
That did it. We can get through now.
There's a lot of them.
Everything's crumbling down here. Might be tricky to get out.
I have read about the caverns beneath Minrathos. Being there is something else.
There's another blight boil around here. I can feel it.
Find the blight boils. We need to clear the way and keep pushing. We got it. Way should be clear.
Shadow dragons?
How did you fight this place? Venatori, for me! You think you've won? You think you can stop the Venatori? All the risen gods?
We're certainly gonna try.
The Shadow Dragons have nothing but chains in the city. Bring these dissidents to justice. That's an order.
Ready, Rook! They're all yours! End it now!
One less corrupt Templar in Minrathos. Let's look around, see what we find.
In Treviso, we have a tale of a masked man who lived in the bowels of the city.
But why?
Drama. Why else?
The Risen Gods ritual. That's what the gods in the Venatori are preparing for. These star charts predict an eclipse to make magic stronger.
So a ritual augmented by an eclipse? That's the plan?
Lenos's documents. They detail the Venatori's long-term plans and what they want to do to Tevinter. All this, the ritual, the eclipse, and the Venatori plans. We have to bring this to the Shadow Dragons immediately.
Time to report back to the Shadow Dragons.
Evil old gods, rituals, waiting for the stars.
It's about as Tevinter as blood magic and hubris. Learning about the gods' plans is wonderful, of course. But the lists of magisters you got your hands on, now there's the real gold.
You've looked at it already. Of course you have.
Information on their backers, the ties to illegal slavery. Don't you see what this means?
This is power, May. Imagine becoming Archon and using this against those who've been hurting the people for years.
You on the throne? Dorian.
Tell me that wouldn't be a splendid way to bring about real change.
Sounds like someone's got a plan.
Goodness, you make me sound absolutely nefarious. I love it. But yes, if the Venatori can scheme, so could we.
But how would you use this information exactly?
Dorian wants to use it to crush our enemies by whatever means necessary. I prefer to use it to rally the people. I say we make the information known. Allow the people to see the real justice served. Prove that from now on, we work for them.
We tried that already. Or have you forgotten the Lucerni? I no longer trust that political machine will work in our favor. No. We must get at the root of the problem before they can react. A more forceful approach. Destroy them and their networks utterly.
Swords and spies and blackmail? The devious means you learned in the South? If we go outside the system, we invite everyone else to do the same. No, we have to do this in the open. Show the people of Tevinter that we're here for them.
We're shadow dragons. It's right there in the name. You supported this because you knew the system didn't work for the people.
The point was to work in the shadows until we could work in the light. And Rook has brought us what we need.
May, the Imperium's politics burned you once and you still...
Enough. We're not the only ones who have a stake in this. Rook, you have been instrumental in all this. Which strategy do you prefer?
What sort of change are you trying to achieve?
For a start, slavery. Abhorrent. It needs to go no more.
And Tevinter has been ruled by the Altus Mages for all of its history. That must change. The Zoparati, non-mages, deserve a say in their own governance.
And all that's just the beginning of what will undoubtedly be a long journey.
Shouldn't you be on the same side?
We are on the same side. We both know what Tevinter needs. How best to get it, that's the question.
If we went with Dorian's plan, I'd support it fully. But we won't, because he'll come around and realize that I'm right.
And I'd absolutely back you up on that, if you were right, which you aren't.
We'll see.
Will we?
Maevaris, you really believe making this evidence public will work?
Dorian wants to work behind the scenes, but once again, it's the Magisters and Highbloods pulling the Imperium's strings. That doesn't inspire. It's a tactic used by our enemies. We need to show Tevinter that we can be different.
Unless they find some way to bury it? Or leverage their wealth, power, and status as they often have before?
Politics is a long game. If we use force against our enemies, our allies will remember it.
Dorian, are you really suggesting violent revolution?
Not necessarily. Sometimes a mere threat of violence is sufficient.
He learned that from his friends in the South. I hear Ferelden settled a succession crisis with a duel.
It worked. Astoundingly.
We're not Ferelden.
I'm merely saying we need to consider bold and creative methods of achieving our ends. The game is rigged. Why play by rules crooked magisters already exploit? Clear the board and start over. If they're gone, we can fill the magisterium with those who respect the office. Then we'll actually see progress.
You want me to choose who will be Archon? But I'm not even from here. I can't decide.
Then talk to the ones who are. See what they say. Asher and Tarquin, Nev, Gallus, they're all a part of this, just as you are. We should all be comfortable with whatever course we take.
All right. I'll go do that.
Grand news about Lenos. One less crooked Templar in town.
The city will be better off with him gone.
We can hope.
Lenos made my life miserable. Rana's too.
I hear he started out different. Maybe he once cared about something other than gold. But I didn't know that, Lenos. And I'm not going to mourn the one I did. Still, I'll thank the bastard for writing everything down. And delivering it to us all neat.
Dorian and Maevaris still have to decide what to do with everything we got from Lenos.
I just don't know enough about Tevinter to know what's best for its people.
I suspect this decision will determine Tevinter's path for years to come.
Then Dorian's way is my choice. He knows you don't stop to talk when you find a hole in the enemy's defenses.
Dorian is a brash rebel.
And Maevaris too much of a romantic.
I think the people will appreciate Maevaris returning as the leader they've always wanted to see.
No. They'll appreciate their lives actually changing for the better.
What do you think might happen, depending on who leads?
With May, she gets power back again. Gets one more shot at changing Tevinter from the top down. Worst that could happen is nothing. But that's what you risk when all you rely on is hope. But with Dorian...
We could get chaos, strife. Things might get harder before they get easier. If they get easier.
I'll take my chances.
And whoever leads will have the Shadow Dragon's support, right?
Count on it.
We'll keep fighting. For Dorian. Or for Maevaris.
What else is there to do in this town, anyway? It rains all the damn time.
So, what do you think?
Lenos is gone. We got information about the Venatori's plans, the god's ritual. Would have liked to see his face when he lost, but having him gone is good enough.
I meant about Maevaris and Dorian. We all want change. Who will be more effective in getting it?
Oh, that. You're dragging me into it?
You're the famed detective. What's the right call?
This isn't a murder.
Politics is murder. Isn't that what they always say?
Maevaris Talani has been in this game for decades. She's dedicated and ruthless when she needs to be. Dorian Parvis is a wild card. Flashy and inventive, he'll keep his enemies on their toes. But if you're asking me, I'd go with Maevaris. She'll inspire people, show them that the Magisterium can be better than it is. Right now, after the gods and everything else, that's what this city needs. What we all need.
Thanks, Nev. That helps.
That's what I'm here for.
Maker. A full quarter of the Magisterium supporting a cult. Bending the knee to these risen old gods just for a taste of more power. Can they not see they're only tools for the gods? So they can destroy the world?
Demanding intelligence, rationality, and self-awareness from our peers. You ask too much, Maevaris.
Look at me. Such a fool.
Ah, it's Rook. You spoke with the others.
What do you think? Who should be leading the charge from here on?
What happens after it's decided who will lead?
Well, Lenos is gone, the cult's numbers are down, and they're scrambling to prepare for the god's ritual. They'll be distracted. It's a perfect opportunity to get our preparations in order.
All plans contingent on surviving the current disaster, of course.
Maevaris should lead.
I will not squander the opportunity. That is my promise to you all.
And May will have my full support, of course. For when enemies get in our way.
They will. It is Tevinter, after all.
The risen gods are still causing chaos. The people will need your voice to keep them fighting.
Oh, they will fight. This city has strength enough to stand against any so-called gods. We will win the day, and after that, we will win a brighter Tevinter. for all of us.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Mila. How are...
Take a look.
All set?
Hey, Antoine. Evka.
I can still hear it. Though it is giving me a headache.
Please be careful.
With the container? It's very sturdy. I tested it.
What? When? And how?
Am I interrupting?
No. Our study of the new blight continues.
We know the gods changed the blight. We think it changed more than they realized, or altered itself after.
It's answering to something other than gods.
So the rules change further. The world's never as stable as people believe.
A veil jumper would know. We should trade stories sometime.
So what's the blight answering to?
Remember the strange call I heard after the Lavendale battle? It was here, in the wetlands.
We think the source is out a ways, towards the redoubt.
I can tell it's something large, rooted. A construct of the blight itself. An eruption controlling the rest. What that could mean... Everything that calls the blight impacts the Wardens. We withstand it. But gods, archdemons, it all adds strain.
If the eruption calls the blight, then it could mess with us too. Spark the calling sooner. We'll lose ourselves, along with the wetlands.
Antoine, you hear stuff in the blight, more than some of the others. Are you...
Yes. A little sensitive, but it's not calling to me. Not yet. Like everyone else, I'll know when that changes.
Should you have told me all this? About the calling?
First Warden would have said no.
You're our friend. You chase archdemons and fight the blight. It seems fair you know what this means.
So we kill this eruption. It can die, right?
That's the hope. Remember those samples you found when we first arrived? Based on our studies, Antoine made an alchemical flame. It's impressive. It should destroy the eruption.
Theoretically. At least the last batch was stable. Mostly.
But if the eruption's controlling the blight and it gets attacked, then the blight around Lavendale might respond.
Yes, its roots are everywhere, and spreading. I can feel them.
These people can't lose their blight experts. I can go after the eruption.
While we guard against nasty side effects here.
It's a plan. I didn't miss the part where Antoine said the alchemical flame is mostly stable.
I'll make sure the containers are sealed.
Maybe don't bang them together.
The blight poisons so much. Water, plants, animals, people. Some would call the wetlands dead already, but they're not. It's not too late. Whatever the eruption means for the waters, we can leave this place better. It's what we're supposed to do.
We'll take our stand in the sheltered glade. Meet us there when you're done.
Ready when you are.
There's definitely something in here. Something wrong.
Let's get this over with.
The eruption's on the other side of that barrier.
We'll need to cut off the tendrils to break through.
While holding off dark spawn.
I can use the crack.
A tendril. It's attached over there.
Up on the ledge. We can hit the tendrils from there.
Ballista.
Never turned down one of those.
We're through.
Let's see what's at the heart of this.
Better move before more darkspawn show up. What is that the Blight eruption?
Mierda.
The darkspawn are protecting it. We need to take them out.
Damn it!
Cavern?
I can hear that eruption. The Blight's spreading. We need to stop it. The eruption's not happening. Just keep fighting. We're not falling to
it. Keep going.
We won't give in.
What? A ranged attack.
Get clear.
Not bad, bro. For a veil jumper.
Watch your back. Understood.
I'm good to go again.
This is it. Let's get that eruption. we strike and the whole thing goes up. All right, time to destroy this thing.
They aren't blighted. Were they dormant?
Maybe. They're beautiful. Much like you. Ah, Rook, hi.
We knew when you hit that eruption. The blight around Lavendel reacted. And there was a sound in it. Like nothing we've heard before.
What happened in there? What was it like?
I'm just glad I wasn't alone in there.
I can imagine. Many deserve thanks today.
When the eruption was destroyed, some of the bigger tendrils pulled back. The remaining blight won't vanish overnight, but it's a good sign. And this place opened up.
The flowers here, they managed to survive, buried, untouched. They have a chance to return now.
That's incredible. I wasn't expecting flowers.
It's what we're here to do, to make this possible again.
We thought the Grey Warden's purpose would end when the last archdemons died.
And that time's almost here. It's unbelievable.
The Order is those of us left now. When the archdemons fall, some wardens will hang up their swords. Until they're calling, at least.
So the wardens are finished?
No, our numbers may get smaller, but Efka and I will be here. Others will stay too.
There's still blight in the world. There's something new calling to it. And to us.
There's blight inside us too. If it changed out there, have we changed as well?
What matters is that if new evils show up, we'll be here to keep them back.
Do you really think something inside you has changed?
It's possible. Or maybe we're the same. But does that mean we'll be the same? You can't sense the blight. But trust us, it feels different. And the sound is changing too.
As for what it means, it's like Antoine said. We don't know yet.
Are you doing okay with all this? Really?
Don't worry, I'm good. I've got everything I need right here.
Me too.
I'm sure you'll be fine, but if there's anything I can do, just say.
Of course. It's good we answered your first letter, and it didn't catch fire.
What?
It may have come close to an explosive, but we all met in the end.
The blight feels relentless most of the time. We see what it does up close.
The world dying, how it spreads. But we keep going.
And look, these flowers can make it back.
They can. You know, you've got flowers and nothing is immediately on fire. I could leave you alone.
Are you trying to set us up on a date?
I think he is.
But we go on dates. Lavendel was named for flowers. They must have been everywhere before. When we get back...
We can stay here a bit longer first.
Oh yes. I thought I heard birds earlier. Maybe we can find them?
The wetlands.
Need and knowledge.
Rook stopped the Auton. Took down... I can't believe you're defending them.
I am not defending anyone, Jacobus.
You're letting them be a part of this? My cousin died because the governor didn't stop the Auton from taking over.
Jacobus?
I'm fine. But I'm not going to be a part of this.
Well, now that unpleasantness is dealt with, about your mysterious informant.
Whoever they are, they know the Antam and Treviso.
Your message made it sound like this informant also knows where the gods are staging their ritual.
Treviso does not need this troublemaker. This should be left to proper officials.
It very much concerns Rook. We have a contact who offers access to the Butcher and privileged information on the gods.
A chance to find your gods and to free the city. A prize for both our causes.
Both are important. Strong with the crows, strong against the gods.
Someone else seems to think so. The contact knows the city and the Antam.
How do you know it's for real?
They gave us patrol patterns. Dreadnought arrivals. Their information is real.
And you didn't share this with me?
People in this city continue to sicken and die. Do you not have other more pressing matters to attend to?
So where are we meeting?
Near the field hospital, where the market used to be.
And they asked for me, not you or Viago.
Even with what happened to Treviso, your fight against the gods is spoken of by many. You have respect, and no small admiration.
From who, though? That's the question.
There's really no clue who it is?
They're foolish enough to think crows are reliable. That's a clue about their worth.
They promise help.
So do you when you're not killing each other. Treviso deserves better.
It's getting the best.
That has yet to be proven.
What about the human help the Anton was getting? You have any leads on that?
We continue what you started. The other Talons are turning over every stone.
You trust them? Not even your first Talon is safe from your infighting.
We are all Antivan crows.
And yet those of us sworn to Treviso are beneath you.
Hypothetically, what if I'm walking into an ambush?
I would prepare for one.
Not everything is an adder in the wardrobe.
I said to prepare. I didn't say not to go.
I'll talk with this mystery contact.
And the rest of us will hope not to get caught in your crossfire again.
If we can remove the Butcher and weaken the Antam, then perhaps Treviso can start to heal from the Blight. With luck, this informant is our key to that. Find them, Rook. Hear what they have to say. Our informant is near the field hospital, Rook.
They said you'd know them on sight.
Remember...
There's a perfect blade for everyone.
Okay, Viago and Taya said our informant is somewhere in the market. Let's find them. I just hope their supposed information about the god's location is actually true.
Rook, I presume.
The Butcher.
There's no need for that. Treviso is the trap, not this meeting. Please. So tense. I promise, I'll signal when it's time to fight.
Strange way to ambush someone.
I don't have to ambush anyone. You think I couldn't just march on the crows? Scattered Antam flock to me. I have the soldiers to raise your casino and every inch of this city.
But I'll bet there's no profit in actually winning.
There's money being made by the occupation, but not by me. I said Treviso was the trap, and I meant it. The Jewel of Antiva. She sings even while caged. Such purity in every stone. It's trapped my heart. I love this city.
Everyone loves Treviso. Doesn't mean you get to conquer it.
That explains why the streets crawl with undeserving cattle. You know there are traitors here. They ransom their own city. Literal gods stalk the land, but these filth worship their own purses. But you're different. You and the crows stay true to your roles. It means something when you die, and even more when you kill. You're as much a work of art as this city. And you want a secret from me.
You knew I was coming. Cut to the chase and tell me where the gods want the ritual.
The gods, they give strength. But all they ask in return is everything. I can feel their corruption. I can hear their whispers. They're calling for a ritual. If I give in, I'll know where you need to go. But I will lose my jewel. My city! So... you live in a casino. Let us make a game of this. I will become what the gods want. Welcome their whispers. Meet me and show me if the crows deserve my city.
Butcher was our contact, and he's letting himself fall to the blight? Finish him off. We need to go after the butcher. So the butcher wants us to prove we're worthy of saving Treviso? That's what's happening?
By turning himself into a monster.
Everyone's acting like normal. Like the butcher hasn't gone nuts.
Who's going to believe that? I don't.
Safer to keep your head down, I guess.
I see what you need. You deserve it.
Hear the shift in his voice? He's changing.
I see. My Treviso. Will not abandon you to the traitors who gave you to me.
There's the butcher. He's a reaver. And fighting his own Antam.
That thing's a monster. How could it tell us anything about the gods?
We have to hope he's still in there.
I see you, Rook, and I see the ritual. Match me, fight me, win this city! This is the power the gods give!
Butcher, where is the ritual?
Final ritual, you saved Jewel!
There's nothing left of us.
I see Tearstone Island! The ritual! Tearstone Island!
Hassan, over there!
Take him down! He's gone. And he named the ritual site Tearstone Island.
The butcher didn't lie, if that's worth anything.
He got the death he wanted. Good trade, I guess. And he gave us the information we came for.
Yes, truly the Butcher was a paragon of honor and virtue, and we are all devastated to see him go.
Avenchi.
And now you have a location for your final pointless confrontation. The gods are at Tearstone Island. Isn't that what you wanted? A chance to die a hero's death? So go. Leave Treviso to those who deserve it. What's left of it, anyways.
You gutless traitor. You weren't powerless against the Butcher. You were working with him.
I don't expect you to understand this, but sometimes governance means not showing your entire hand.
You sold Treviso out to the Antam.
I did what I did to help this city, to save it, to keep my people from being slaughtered like cattle by the Antam. And you let us suffer and sicken in favor of Minrathous. I gave up the crows, you gave up the whole city. Treviso is dying, Rook, and its killer wears your face.
You weakened Treviso long before that bladed dragon attacked, Governor. What if Treviso's people could have fought back, could have rallied to the city's defense? But the Antam kept them weak, let them die. That happened because of a choice you made. I live with the consequences of my decisions. Can you say the same?
You live with nothing, Rook! You have the luxury of distraction, of defining all your actions by the greater good. So take your team to Tearstone Island. Face Elgernon and Gillenane, strike them down. Or don't. Either way, Treviso is dying. But it's still mine. Leave its funerary rites to one who cared enough about this city to make themselves its villain.
It makes sense now. Every decision they made shows it.
The governor betrayed us all. And for what? A city that is sick, and whose recovery will be measured in years.
I take it you heard? The Butcher's dead.
And in his place is the traitor we knew was lurking. And the Antam fell in line?
Whatever the Antam are looking for, Avenci's giving it to them.
The Blight changes things. Even the Antam fear it. The governor has given them a clear purpose. They were more cunning than I thought.
Something always bothered me about Avenci.
Many things bothered me about Avenci, yet I did not spot the most important one.
This wasn't a failure. You gave us the name we needed.
The hand that leashed Treviso. The Butcher was the mouth, but the hand was Avenci all along. They think they have the power in the Antam, and a network doing their will.
But we have the face of our enemy.
Avenci will be hiding, so we will hound their Antam and make them desperate.
When the governors show themselves again, we end this.
You're not concerned the gods will send the Antam more support?
The gods might come for us, but they're coming for everyone. I believe you are crafting the answer to that, and we will help as we can.
When Avenci left, they made it sound like they were planning something.
I suspect it will be about restoring order as they see it, and that the crows will be first on their list.
Whatever the good governor's intent, we'll end it.
Avenci keeps talking about restoring order and rebuilding Treviso. But what then?
I believe the good governor's plan was to risk the city to try and claim the nation. If the Antam beheaded the crows, who would merchant princes hire? Who would invaders fear?
As if the Antam would fill that role. This was a bookkeeper's angry grab at power.
We'll stop Avenci.
The gods. Did you learn where they will be?
Tearstone Island. Avenci confirmed it before they left.
We know the time to face Elgernon and Gillenane approaches, but it will not take us long to find Avenci.
If you truly want to help Treviso recover from the Blight, help us deal with the governor.
We'll let you know when we'll make our move. And after that, Treviso will be free.
Up for a trip to the Cobbled Swan?
Why? What's happening?
Nothing that I know of. With Aelia taken care of, I thought we'd check in. Maybe enjoy the Swan for once?
So, the other Griffins, who decided what to do with them?
Yeah.
Spite will not stop demanding revenge for Treviso. Is there any more we can do?
Have you heard about these shadow dragons? They worry me. It's like the
Siege of Siconia, back on stage. Where to see her?
These meetings can't be good for business. I'm here, Inquisitor. It isn't just Inquisitor, is it? You were someone before that.
Clan Llewellyn. We try to be no one you've heard of. Morrigan is holding a perimeter. We're alone. Tell me what Solus did at Elganon's ritual.
Sounds like you already know.
I need to hear it from you.
Solus helped get us through, but he was protecting his interests, not us.
You don't think he helped for genuine reasons?
I think he wants his plan to succeed, whatever it is.
Always a plan. He's always thinking about where it ends. How many of his names do you know? God of Lies, Dreadwolf, Fen'Harel. They're titles he earned from enemies, followers, and fractured history. He and I shared another name. Vanan.
Elven for heart?
For my heart. You've spoken to him in your dreams. You felt the power of that mind. His love could burn against me like a bonfire. He seemed so kind, and wise, and sad, and looked at me as if I somehow mattered more than anything around us. For a time, I thought I would have followed anywhere he asked me to.
It must have been horrible when you learned the truth.
How could I have fallen in love with a god and never realized it? Why didn't he tell me? So many things he said. So many half-truths, inevitable in retrospect. And then, he went off to destroy the world, leaving me to clean up his mess.
You mean the Inquisition?
I mean all of this. He let me fall in love with him and then told me we couldn't. Then he told me not to follow, while leaving me just enough clues to find him.
Hold on. You think he wanted you to stop him?
His name is Solus. It means pride. Perhaps he couldn't change his mind himself and hoped that someone else could help him. Or maybe I'm the prideful one, imagining his broken heart so that I never have to face my folly. That I loved someone who made such grave mistakes, that I might love him still.
You almost sound like you're ready to join him in that prison in the Fade.
To give up the world for him? No. We've got to save it first. But after? If there were a way? If he felt the same? If I could leave the world behind and just have him? I don't know.
He really made you happy?
Yes. He really did.
Well, you deserve to be happy. As long as he's not, trying to tear down the veil again.
That would put a dampener on things, yes.
This is all hypothetical anyway. He's trapped in the Fade with no way out.
He's surprised us before. But enough about me. Tell me about you and Tosh.
What? How?
Morrigan has eyes everywhere.
Of course she does. I need to get the team around the table and talk about what's next.
Thought the cart was done when the Venatori grabbed me. You did a good job polishing her up.
I was happy to help. Besides, Nev might starve without your cart.
Yeah, well, free fish next time. You too, Gallus.
Sure, Hal. Rana, I've got someone for you to meet.
Right. I'm almost finished here.
Good reading? And here I thought you'd be working our cases.
I got a tip on a red lyrium smuggler who leaves coded messages in the paper. I placed a coded ad pretending to be a buyer. If the smuggler took the bait, I'll know where he's trading the goods.
Anything I can do to help?
Cooperative. Are you sure you're Nev's friend?
All right. What are we after?
We're looking for the phrase Virantium brandy.
Got it.
Hold on. What's this? Nev, Gallus, and Rana Savas, investigators.
Right. That. I may have paid for another small advertisement.
You what?
If we want to help people, they need an easier way to find us. It's approachable.
I regret this already.
That's brilliant. Maybe we should advertise.
Slow down. We haven't seen if this one works out.
There. Virantium brandy. I know where to stop the red lyrium deal. This one, anyway.
Good catch. You might work out after all. Still, I'd prefer you have backup when you need it. And if I'm not around... Rana, meet the Viper. I put in a word for you.
The Viper? You're real. Wait, a word? For what?
Come. It's time you met the Shadow Dragons.
Are you Nev Gallus?
How did you...
I saw your advertisement. I need your help.
Then you're in the right place.
Look at you. Docktown's hero.
Isn't that wholesome? I blame you. Have a seat. I'm guessing you've got a story.
It worked.
Rook, good. We have discovered what Ivenchi is planning for Treviso. When you fought the comic master in the garrison, you mentioned a note you found that said some comic had gone missing.
We have discovered who stole it.
Ivenchi.
The governor intends to release it all around the city to pacify violent seditionists.
They called us reckless, and now... Now Ivenchi will ruin the minds of thousands in this city to have their peace and order.
Who is Ivenchi planning to poison with the comic? Aside from the crows.
People who have spoken up too loudly against the Antam.
Anyone too friendly with the crows. I doubt Ivenchi is familiar with poisons. I guarantee the comic will spread to the rest of the city as well.
Destroying your own people's minds. How could Ivenchi do this?
By telling themselves there is nothing else to be done.
After the dragon attack, and then the blight, the governor is a coward who has given up on Treviso.
Better to poison the last of it themselves than let anyone else solve these things.
It is finally time to strike. Go to the garrison and prevent Ivenchi from releasing the comic.
Once you are there, Thea and I will lead the crows against the rest of Ivenchi's forces in the city.
Understood.
There is something else. Jacobus stormed off earlier. He did not look well.
Look out for him, would you?
Of course. We'll head to the garrison.
Do you think Ivenchi would target the field hospital?
There's the garrison.
Dav.
On to the garrison and the governor.
Back to what we were saying.
That courtyard looks empty.
Thought the governor would have Antam guarding the place.
Ivenchi must be further in. We clear the garrison this time. Ivenchi's got to know there's no way out for a traitor.
Down! We can escape across the roof!
We're in the clear.
The garrison has fallen to Darkspawn!
That explains why Ivenchi's Antam were trying to run. Ivenchi's blighted? Wait! Jacobus? Tavern. Take it.
We need to close.
Okay, now for Avengi.
I will see you dead if it's the last thing I do before the flight takes me!
Air's back. Careful.
Wait, are these Antom real?
I see the comic is working! Fight all you want! It won't end any differently!
As you say.
Don't you die? Why don't you give up? Damned dark spawn at the gates hadn't scratched me, blighted me. If you hadn't interfered,
it wouldn't have made a difference.
Neither will my death. My comet could have helped stabilize the city. But it's still blighted, dying. Nothing can save Treviso now.
We just stopped the governor from poisoning people. That's a start.
I did it to protect the city!
You did it because you wanted it for yourself. You say you did all this for Treviso, Avenchi, to protect it, but you never really believed in it.
What would you know about the city I love?
If Rook hadn't stopped the governor in time. Rook! I should have wine. We should toast you.
Evenchi is dead. The comic is being disposed of. All thanks to you.
The garrison's a mess.
Details.
The Antam remain, though with Evenchi gone, I think we will be able to persuade them to move on in the coming months.
People are being moved to safer areas outside the Blight. Crows have time now to patrol for Darkspawn.
It will take years, but we can plan for Treviso's future now that it has one.
Treviso would have fallen long ago if it really didn't have a chance.
I'm not so sure. A city is only as healthy as those who care for it.
You never gave up, Rook. We will repay that in full. But life is so dull if all we talk about are responsibilities. It is time to celebrate.
For our victory.
For Treviso's freedom.
For the crows.
What an excellent idea. Viago, dear, you mentioned something about getting us drinks?
I think we've done what we can for Treviso. We've shown everyone you can stand against the Antam and the Blight.
think what she was researching.
It's the reason she disappeared.
Few people are worthy of an invitation, you know. I should put that on the sign. I should get a sign.
I heard the Threads run some good card games. Some right here in the market. When the Venatori are clamoring. Not sure I'd trust their dealers, though.
There are ways to win against a stacked deck.
Tearstone Island. That's where Elganon and Gillenane will perform their ritual.
With an eclipse, those two can finish their dagger, then tear open the Fade. After that, we've witnessed the horrors Gillenane creates with even a trickle of the Blight. What happens with a flood?
Next eclipse is a month away. That's not a lot of time. Getting past the Antam Navy won't be easy. They'll be on high alert.
We'd need our own fleet to get past them, which we don't have.
If anyone can find a way around that fleet, it's us. Everything seems impossible at the beginning. Just fight one battle at a time. Varric told me that.
Damn right, kid.
A single boat can sneak past a blockade. We just need to find something that floats.
The Antam fleet may not spot us, but the gods see much farther.
Worse, they know about us specifically. They'll be waiting.
Let's make sure there's too many distractions for them to spot us.
Sounds like you have a plan.
Harding, reach out to our allies. Wardens, Veil Jumpers, all of them. Tell them to be ready to start swinging. We start enough fires, make some noise, and the gods will look everywhere for us. Except at their front door.
You've helped our allies, Rook. They're ready to return the favor.
That takes care of the approach. But what about when we get there? We'll have 2 gods waiting. Who knows how many Antam? We'll need to be at our best. Question is, we there yet?
We are ready as we'll ever be.
I'll send off messages to our allies. They'll be ready.
Would Morrigan help? Could Morrigan help?
The world's ending. That's when Morrigan does her best work.
Great. Tell Morrigan the plan. See if the Inquisitor's willing to help us. I know she's busy leading the fight in the south, but she knows this blight won't end until the gods are dead. I hear that we're as ready as we'll ever be, but we can always be more prepared. Weeks until the next eclipse gives us time. Let's use it wisely.
Agreed.
Get some rest, then we'll take care of outstanding business.
The fires are lit.